It's a drag. I'm still posting it. It was a good. I felt like it was good energy and could not be reproduced. So I apologize for the early audio. If you want the good stories, you gotta take the bad audio. Excuse me. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Like I said, I have a very stressful day. Sitting alone in my room at 2:30 in the morning and rambling while I blow weed into my webcam. Being online has been very weird. I always was addicted to the internet, but I wasn't like online TM. And now that I'm making friends first on the internet and then in real life, it is such a different game. People are so much weirder from the internet. You meet people from totally different cultures and different bubbles, with like many of which have never left the house. Many of my friends, when you start making friends in like Discord calls and stuff like that, you definitely meet a type of person. And they are my people. I love them. I have made closer friends in Discord calls and Twitter Spaces to the point where lately, I started doing Twitter Spaces 9 months ago, just like open, hang out and talk to my phone. And I've been doing them like every day some weeks, not always, but like I spend a couple days like decompressing with my oomfies. And the bonds I have built with these people, it is the best friendships I've had in my adult life. It doesn't even matter that they live far away. Like I love talkers and people who can hold the court and like actually talk. Man, the way you connect, the way those people can connect with me, the amount of love I have for them. But I digress. I wanted to talk about 420. And in my 20s, my happiest time of my life, I lived in San Francisco. I had 5 roommates. I made music 50, 60 hours a week. It brought me joy. It was all that mattered to me. I could just get lost in it. I would shut off my brain and like wake up and like I just hear the most beautiful sounds. It was all I did. And I always hated 420. And my roommate, this very wise man, he was like one of those guys who was like an 80-year-old man, even though he was 25. He was like the coolest old Jewish man ever. He was from South America. He was a Brazilian Jewish guy. And he just like, let us drink wine and play chess. And like, let us live life. These are the good old days. Like he just had this like very like, now he works on a wine vineyard and makes his own wine. He became a winemaker. Like he had that kind of like passion for life. And he looked at me on 420 and like 419 probably. And I was like, man, this is corny. And he said, listen, you know how your whole year you just kind of feel like lazy, like you beat yourself up for it. Like you didn't do your laundry today. You didn't pay the bill. You didn't do the boring thing. You didn't work hard. Like you didn't work hard. You didn't go to the gym. that kind of shit. You're like, oh, I ate fucking disgusting food and didn't go to the gym again today. Like one day out of the year, just one day out of the year, when you start to like do that, like just forgive yourself. Just like let it, like you're just a lazy fuck and it's okay because it's 420 and everyone's doing it together. And it's like a religious holiday. And although it is stupid, and the phrase 420 is dumb, and everyone who says it needs to grow the fuck up, at the same time, choosing one day a year to forgive yourself and just be a gluttonous stoner and like not hate yourself. Like a day of self-forgiveness. Or at least just not hating yourself is hard, which is not that bad. Just like get high, don't do your laundry, maybe take a shower. Give yourself that, or whatever you do. Just like give yourself one day when you forgive yourself, and that always stuck with me. It was incredible living with a man like that. He was a great dude. Funny story about him. Because he lives on a wine thing in like the middle of nowhere, and he like cut off his phone and social media so he could live life better. He is the only person in the world that I have not come out to yet, and we were close friends. And I know him. I knew him well then. I think I still know him. I think if he ever sees me again, it would be hilarious. I'm looking. It's kind of good. I heard about a guy who bought $1,000 pack of unopened Magic cards, Alpha Edition, and he kept it in his pocket. And he just always liked knowing that like he didn't know. There was like one pack that for all he knew he had a Black Lotus on him. You know what I mean? For all he knew, or not, and he never wanted to open it. And I thought that was beautiful. And to me, it's nice that there's one person that I could still kind of shock, because I really loved coming out. Like coming out was it's sad you only get to do it once, because the people who were surprised, it was so funny. Like it was so easy. People I'd known for a long time who were like immediately transphobic to me, and like I'm from Ohio. Like a lot of people, I'm still Facebook friends with people. Like, you know what I mean? Like people over 40 Facebook friends who never left the racist suburb I grew up in, like, immediately had things to say on Facebook. And I'm like, bitch, like, you follow me, you've been reading my Facebook for 20 years. Like, you have some weird parasocial thing. Like, I do not remember that we had like one class in like junior high together, like homeroom, like whatever connection you think we have, like, it's you are just addicted to Facebook and parasocial. Like you're a stranger to me. And when those people had stuff to say, it felt so freeing. It felt because like all the people who sucked, I realized I'd never liked. You just have a moment. You're like, why were we friends? Like, you were fun, but like, and it was just I was so everyone who left me, I just felt like the worst person in the world. That I didn't even know it would be good. Like they were just like, oh, you were poison in my life. You were like a negative weirdo who like spent out like, and it's so cool that you like said some crazy shit to me that made you sound insane. Like that's a funny ending. Like rather than just like drifting away, we had a nice closure where you said something ridiculously insane and all my Facebook friends laughed at you and we all had a good like, that person does suck. And I'd be like, yeah, they asked me to marry them the last time I went home to Ohio, like even though we hadn't seen each other in 10 years, like, and now they're like losing it about it. Like I barely know this woman. And also just like, and the people who surprised me too, like it was kind of cool how many people were very cool with it. And like every reaction was interesting. Like it was like I was finally learning about people, you know what I mean? And the way that matters. And I loved it. Some people hate coming out. I thought I would hate coming out to my wife. I'm not gonna lie, it's a cliche, but like I did not think she would stay with me. Like I did it anyway, and I remember I've been doing it for like I've been taking estrogen for 3 or 4 days, maybe even longer, maybe like a week. And she's like, you are giggling every day. I've never seen you so happy. Like it seems like you're drunk. Like what is going on? And I just be like, I don't know. Like, I'm a girl now. And she got me high, and we were high, and I was like, would you love me no matter what? And she said, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, I'm a trans chick. I kept saying I'm trans, and she's like, why do you say you're trans and not a woman? And I was like, like let's not get caught up in the language. Like, people do that when people want to like cling to, when you're coming out, they cling to the language. Like, they're looking for any reason. Like, certain people, like, are just like waiting. Like, it's hilarious, but like, and like then nobody believed me, which was really funny. Like there was this is a true story, this is a good one. There was this chick that I'd like had a crush on in college, but she went to a friend's college. I met her a couple times. I don't even think we ever kissed. We like wanted to. It's like one of those. It was like a Christian school in Minneapolis, and it had been a year we'd been Facebook friends, and I left a comment and she sent me something weird. I forget what it was, but she sent me something weird, and she was like, well, you're a dude, right? I'm like, I've been out for a year. She's like, oh, I thought that was a bit. And I was like, no. And she's like, well, it was in poor taste. A lot of people think you're the kind of person who would do that kind of bit. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like for a year, she'd been parasocially following me. Like, we'd had a good relationship too. She was one of those like white Midwestern lesbians who like, came from a conservative family. So like now I profile her as like a type where you'd be like, okay, like you're one of those. But at the time I like did not know every weird type of lesbian. Like, did not know the stereotypes and truths about like Midwestern white lesbians in particular, who it is sad I grew up in the Midwestern white suburbs as a lesbian, because it was not a very anyway, it's like turf. It's Turf County, of course. But anyway, yeah, that was so funny though. She like thought it was for a year, and then she got mad at me, and I like unblocked her. I like blocked her, and then I unblocked her and was like, "What the fuck was that?" And she like doubled down on it. I was like, "Bitch, like, nice knowing you." That was like so weird. I want to say her name really bad, but I don't know. There's no need to. Oh yeah, I'm going to a Renaissance fair tomorrow, and I'm so excited. I'm a big comedy nerd. Seeing the People's Joker and how much she hated comedy, it was very like it really spoke to me, because like I also like have a similar relationship to it. And Vera Drew, I read an interview with her the other day, and she said comedy at its best is amazing because it's at its best when it can help you find your identity, and it's at its worst when you become a prisoner to identity. And I thought that like exactly summed up something I've been struggling to articulate my whole life. That was the if you want to be you're a girl of comedy hating. It was really insightful because that's true. Like bad comedians, I mean, like easy example, Dave Chappelle, like just get obsessed with identity and it ruins them. Or even just hack comedians. I always hated Dom Irera growing up. Every joke was like, hey, I'm Italian, so therefore, like, and it's just like you're just being a stereotype and like dressing it up as observational comedy. Like I find a lot of like identity humor, and I've gotten shit for this before because I've had a lot of people say like, well, oppressed minorities need identity comedy for their community, and I don't disagree with that. But I think that some bad comedians use this as a crush. I think there's nothing more like worse than like Stuart Lee did his impression of American comedians, just like coming out and saying your ethnicity over and over again, and like then like a dumb. It can be really hack in my opinion. There are some good ones, although to be fair, every single Chinese comedian seems to only do identity humor, and it all seems to work and is awesome. So, you know, I don't know anything about that. Like, God bless that culture. But in my opinion, the cultures I can speak to, which I think trans comedy can be very cringe. I think there are a lot of trans comedians who come out, they're like, what's the deal with bathrooms? Am I right? Huh? Cis people, am I right? This guy knows. Like you probably like don't like think I'm a woman, but blah 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 blah. Like here's how I feel about transphobes, and it's like, girl, like stop it, like don't do that. Like I don't like whatever. If that's your sense of humor, that's cool. I'm not trying to make enemies, but in my humble opinion, as a comedy snob, I think being yourself and not like being like being cis people's intro to trannies, just like, hey, so like I'm harmless, right? Like it's fine. Like a lot of people probably think I'm like really good at sports. You know, like, and I'm not even doing, like, I'm only slightly exaggerating, like, trans comedians talking about sports. It's like, you're adopting the enemy's talking points to define your existence. Like, if you want to represent trans people, just go out there and be funny and happen to have been trans. You're allowed to reference it, like I do, like everyone does if you want to. Not everybody does. A lot of people pass, which sounds like a good idea. But non-passing transbians like myself, one day maybe I'll pass. I'm not done. I'm taking a break. I had so many surgeries. I've been working on my voice, and that stuff's fucking deflating. That is a long fucking road for somebody like me. But anyway, give me a year or two. I'm taking my time. I booked another surgery today, so I've got 2 more FFSs coming up. I'm getting lips. I'm getting the cheek implants, which I'm very excited about. I think I'm gonna get the Barbie nose filler. I'm getting a bunch of hair stuff, which I'm very excited about. And then I'm still working on getting the old ribs removed, which I think would be a real game changer for looking like a sex object.